Squeeze next to Mum and Charlie on the sofa. I stare at Dad's face on the brand new TV. This one fixed higher up onto the wall so Grandad can't pull it down. Behind Dad I can see a tangle of wires and cables snaking around the interior of the International Space Station. Back here on Earth, Haley's sitting in the armchair next to the living room door, out of sight of the video camera, but still close by in case anything goes wrong with the connection. "Hey guys," Dad says, his face breaking into a smile. "How are you doing?" Because of the satellite relay, there's always a 2-second delay between the moment Dad speaks and when we hear him. At first this made our video calls a bit of a nightmare, as Charlie kept getting upset when Dad didn't seem to be listening to her straight away. But we've worked out a system now. Charlie talks first so she can tell Dad her news, while Mum and me wait for our turn. So while Charlie starts telling Dad about how she fed the bunnies at nursery school today, I think about what just happened on my phone. Professor Forster said that the only extraterrestrial signal the human race has ever received was a 72-second beacon beamed from the stars. On Friday, Dad's sending a swarm of space probes to Tau Ceti, one of our nearest stars, but they'll still take 15 years to get there, travelling at nearly light speed. And any information they beam back will take another 15 years to reach Earth. So if Buzz is a message sent from some alien planet, how come it's talking back to me? On the rug in front of the TV, Charlie's showing Dad how she learned to do a cartwheel. Collapsing into a giggling heap on the floor, she squeals with delight as Dad demonstrates a space somersault, his head disappearing backwards as his knees and legs fill the screen before flipping right round again. Again! Charlie squeals, still giggling uncontrollably. Then she stops and turns towards Mum with a worried look on her face. "I think I've done a wee." "Never mind," Mum replies with a weary sigh. Getting up from the sofa, she takes Charlie by the hand. "I'll just have to get her a change of clothes, Dan," Mum says as Dad raises a guilty hand in apology. "Why don't you have a chat with Jamie?" On the TV screen I watch as Dad plucks a floating pen out of the air. "Oops, pen overboard," he says, one of the hazards of space gymnastics. He tucks this back into his top pocket and then nods his head as if hearing Mum's reply. "So how are things with you, son?" I don't know what to say. From the hallway I can still hear Charlie complain as Mum leads her up the stairs. The silence lengthens into 6, 7, 8 seconds. My brain's still trying to find the right words. "You still receiving me?" Dad asks, leaning towards the camera with a frown. "We're still receiving you, Dan," Haley calls out, brightly from the other side of the room. "Jamie's just having a bit of a think." She gets out of a chair. "I'll just go and give your Mum a hand with Charlie," she says, moving towards the door. "Give you and your Dad some space to talk." "Is everything okay?" Dad asks, his voice overlapping with the end of Haley's sentence as she heads out of the room. I watch him bob in microgravity, his face still creased in concern. "Dad," I say, "I think I've got aliens on my phone." There's a pause as my words zoom 400 kilometres up into space. Then Dad laughs out loud. "Good one, Jamie," he says with a grin. "Is this some new game you got then? I thought Mum wasn't too keen on you downloading things to your phone." "No, Dad," I tried to explain, struggling to put it all into words. "I think it's a real alien message. You see, I downloaded it from the Hubble Space Telescope. At first I thought it was just some kind of computer virus that just kept on buzzing all the time. But then it tried to turn my finger into a torch. All these really weird things have been happening at school today, and now it started talking to me. It says its name is Buzz. I think it's..." "Whoa," Dad says, the echo of his voice cutting across mine. "Slow down, Jamie. You're not making any sense." I pause to catch my breath. It's weird. Dad might be the one who's weightless, but I kind of feel lighter too now that I've told him everything. Dad always said that I can tell him anything, any problem I've got, any worry I have, and he'll help me sort it out. That's why it's been so hard with Dad up in space, especially when the main thing I'm worried about is Dad being up in space. Now at least I got my own problem for him to sort out. All I needed was for Dad to believe me, and now he'll be able to tell me what to do. "First of all, the Hubble Space Telescope stopped working last year," Dad says, "so you couldn't have downloaded anything from it, especially not an alien message." "I know, but Professor Forster hacked into the telescope." "Who's Professor Forster?" "She's an astronomer," I tell him. "I met her at the observatory at the top of Beacon Hill. She's looking for aliens just like you." "Jamie, my mission's a bit more complicated than that. I think the signal might be some kind of distress call. Buzz says they need help." Our sentences are overlapping now, the satellite delay causing our words to crash into each other. Raising his hand, Dad waits until there's a moment of silence, and then he starts to speak again. "I know this mission's been hard on you, Jamie," he says, "especially with me missing your birthday on Friday. But you don't have to make up this story about alien messages just to get my attention." "It's not a story," I protest, pulling out my mobile phone. On the home screen, the golden spiral is frozen mid-spin. Taking the phone out of silent mode, I tap my finger against the screen, but nothing happens. No buzzing sound, no robotic voice, nothing to prove that I'm telling the truth. It is true, I say, holding the phone to the camera so Dad can see the home screen. I think this spiral is the alien signal. I just need you to help me work out what it means. On the TV screen, Dad's frown deepens as he listens to my words. That's when I realise he doesn't believe me. My voice trails into silence. I don't know what else I can say. Look, Jamie, Dad replies, his face still creased in concern. After Friday, the Lux Eterna mission will be complete. The Light Swarm pros will be on their way to Tau Ceti, and I can head for home. Why don't you show me this signal when I get back, and we can work out what it is then? Dad's mission is all about searching for the signs of alien life, so why won't you believe anything that I'm saying? But before I can say anything else, Mum walks back into the living room. Hayley's helping Charlie get dressed, she announces as she sits back on the sofa. She wants to show you the fancy dress spacesuit she's been going to wear to nursery after your spacewalk on Friday. While she waits for Dad to get the message via the satellite relay, Mum turns towards me. Could I just have a word with your dad on my own for a bit, Jamie? She asks. We've got a few things we need to discuss in private. Still feeling let down by Dad's reaction, I nod my head. I've got to go now, Dad, I say, getting up from the sofa. I'll see you soon. Bye, Jamie, Dad calls out, holding up his hand like he always does. And have a great birthday on Friday. I'll be thinking of you, son. I press my hand against his on the TV screen, trying my hardest not to cry. I wish he was home right now, so that I could talk to him properly. It's strange, but as I close the door behind me, I can only hear silence. It's as though Mum's waiting until the coast is clear until she talks to Dad. Thinking about it, it's not really fair that she's hijacked our family video call just to have a private chat with Dad. What's so private that they can't talk about it in front of me anyway? When the answer jumps into my head. And then the answer jumps into my head. My birthday present. Dad said he got me the best Lego set yet, but how is he going to get this to me from up there in space? Standing completely still, I press my ear to the door. If I'm going to have a birthday surprise on Friday, I want to find out what it is. For a second, I still can't hear a thing. Then the sound of Mum's voice comes through the door. I got the letter from your solicitor, Dan. There's another 2 seconds of silence, and I hear Dad's reply. Well, we both agreed it was for the best. I thought it would help to get things moving. Mum laughs, but from where I'm standing behind the door, this doesn't sound like a happy laugh. I'm starting to feel confused. What's this got to do with my birthday present? You've always got to be first, haven't you? She says. Even when it comes to getting a solicitor. I still don't know what they're talking about. Being an astronaut is a dangerous job. There are tons of things that can go wrong in space, and Dad says you've always got to be prepared for the worst. Maybe this letter from a solicitor is to do with Dad's will, making sure that Mum, Charlie and me are taken care of if anything goes wrong. Not that it will. He'll be back home safe next week. But it's what I hear Dad say next which rips the ground from beneath my feet and sends my head spinning. 16 years of marriage is a long time, Ali. Long enough to work out that we both want different things. Let's try and keep this divorce civilised like we both agreed. I stand there completely frozen, my ears still glued to the door. I can't have heard this right. Mum and Dad love each other. How can they be getting divorced? When do you want to tell Jamie and Charlie? Mum asks. There's another long pause. 2 seconds that feel like a lifetime to me. When I get back home, Dad says, we'll tell them together. Behind me I hear the sound of my little sister stomping down the stairs. Look, Jamie, Charlie yells. I turn to see a mini astronaut standing at the bottom of the stairs. Charlie is dressed from head to toe in a white jumpsuit with silver gloves and a big rocket badge. Her excited face beams out from her shiny space helmet. I'm an astronaut! Behind her, Hayley peers at me with a puzzled look on her face. Are you okay, Jamie? She asks. Has your dad had to end the video call? No, I say quickly, turning away. Mum's still talking to Dad. I just need some fresh air. As Charlie rushes into the living room to show Dad her spacesuit, I head for the kitchen. Opening the back door, I step out into the garden, staring through my tears up into a night sky full of stars. From the open barn door comes the thunderous sound of drums. Grandad's snare hits and cymbal crashes, soundtracking the confusion that's now swirling round my head. Nothing makes any sense. I thought Mum and Dad were getting on better now. They've not argued since Dad went into space. I thought they still loved each other. How can they be splitting up? 90 degrees above the horizon, I see what looks like a bright star moving quickly across the sky. Automatically, I reach for the phone in my pocket, ready to check whether it's Dad passing overhead on the ISS. But on the home screen, I see the golden spiral, still frozen mid-spin. And I remember that I've got something else to worry about. And if Dad doesn't believe me, I know someone who will.